Those aren't your kids, that's Nick at Night lineup.
One sentence, zero hesitation, complete destruction. That's Brian Griffin. And if you think that was brutal, you haven't seen anything yet.
I read a book about this sort of thing once.
Are you sure it was a book? Are you sure it wasn't nothing?
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
This talking dog has verbally destroyed everyone in his path. His own family, random strangers, and even himself. And he does it all while sipping a martini and acting like he's better than everyone. Today, we're breaking down 12 minutes of Brian Griffin being an absolute savage. From defending Meg to roasting Peter's entire existence, we're covering every brutal takedown, every intellectual drag, and every moment that made you say, "Damn, did he really just say that?" If you love Family Guy, smash that subscribe button right now, because we're diving deep.
Wish you hadn't told me about the pill. Are they for your political groupies?
This is Brian Griffin Unfiltered. Let's get into it. Brian Edward Griffin is a white Labrador Retriever. That we all know, but he was not always part of the Griffin crew. His origin is shown in Brian Portrait of a Dog, where Peter rescues him off the streets and brings him home. Before that, Brian was a lost stray. No name, no family, absolutely no direction. But wait. The fandom lore gets even deeper, because Brian was born in a puppy mill in Austin, Texas, but was separated from his mother early on.
Name brings a lot of unwanted attention. I mean, look at William Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare. Aye. Nice collar, you fruit. Thank ye.
He became a stray soon after, and that is exactly how he carried the trauma of abandonment and invisibility. That explains his constant fighting to be more than just the stray neighbor dog. Every fella's gotta have a flop era. This was Brian's. When Peter adopted him, Brian got something he had never had, a shot at belonging. But, of course, belonging comes with conditions. He had to prove himself, show value, earn his place. And that's one reason Brian pours himself into reading cultural critique, so that he can elevate from just a pet to someone you have to take seriously. Early on, Brian already showed signs of dual identity. Of course, he's a dog. He eats garbage, chases mailmen, smells bad sometimes, but also is deeply human. Because, hey, he drinks martinis, reads literature, and debates ethics. He's the walking pet dog.
It's such a weird situation. I just think somebody should be writing about it.
Yeah.
Do you think it should be me?
So the am I a dog, am I a human tension gives his whole journey texture. Unemployed, lonely, and questionable dating choices. Yeah, real cool behavior. Not. Brian started with nothing, but he didn't stay nothing. He quested for identity, for voice, for a pack. And that's a real main character move right there. Because your origin doesn't limit your future. Your grit does. Because by the end of his journey, Brian became more than a rescue dog. He became a part of the Griffins, a confidant to Peter, a sparring partner to Stewie, a secret philosopher in the corner of the room.
Get over here, you idiot! Peter, what the hell? I'm still in charge of you! Stop it! I'm a human! Get away from me! This is for your benefit, so just go limp and take it!
But that doesn't mean the Griffins were safe from Brian's verbal brutality, because no one, and I repeat no one, is safe when it comes to Brian roasting people. But I believe his savagery comes not from cruelty, but from sharp intellect and timing. Because this guy doesn't lash out randomly, doesn't even raise his voice, and yet he manages to make anyone cry with his words. Like this one time, Brian highlighted Peter's absurdity when Peter started listing off random names from real names of popular culture in an attempt to name his own children. Peter literally named almost 10 characters before Brian interrupted him and said,
Those aren't your kids, that's Nick at Night lineup.
Boom. Roasted. This is classic Brian, observant, witty, and devastatingly accurate. Without raising his voice, he exposed Peter's ridiculous logic while maintaining a veneer of calm superiority. This kind of approach could be repeated on multiple fronts, but I think this is what makes Peter and Brian's relationship work so well, because Brian calls out Peter's impossible level of stupidity without any sugarcoating. And that's exactly what Peter needs.
I quit. It's your liver. You do whatever you want.
Well, thank you. Yes, it is my liver, and I don't want to take that pill.
Fine. We're both in agreement. So let's just both what?
And of course, the legendary Peter-Brian interaction. When Peter told Lois that he read a book about something, but then Brian immediately called him out and remarked,
Are you sure it was a book? Are you sure it wasn't nothing?
That rang a bell in Peter's mind and reminded him that, yeah, it was indeed nothing. This is actually pretty genius because it's not just a joke. It proves how observant Brian actually is, and of course, how much of a critic he is. Seth MacFarlane's delivery emphasizes nothing, cementing Brian's ability to make Peter look foolish without being mean-spirited. Brian could literally repeat this style of dry, biting humor dozens of times, and each line would land with surgical precision.
God, I can't stop. The words are just pouring out of me. I have more energy than a guy who caught a t-shirt.
Remember when I said that no one is safe from Brian's verbal fires? Well, I was not joking, because even holidays aren't safe. Mostly when I'm busy pretending I enjoy pumpkin pie while dodging awkward political debates at the Thanksgiving dinner table. But not Brian. He just sits there fully caffeinated on judgment and sarcasm. I'm sure you've seen the viral meme where Brian says,
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
hot take sharper than your aunt's casserole knife. Well, he served the obvious with a side of existential dread. Don't we all love this level of dry, culturally aware humor? It's like watching a philosopher in sneakers roast your entire life. Brian's humor slices through societal detours like butter. He's basically the guy in every group chat who says what everyone's thinking, but in a way that makes you low-key fear him. Even his own dating life is not safe. But then again, Brian's romantic life is, well, it's a disaster. But it's a disaster with a commentary worthy of a TED Talk on human stupidity. Because he doesn't sugarcoat. He doesn't soften his opinions for the sake of politeness. He doesn't think twice before calling his own date an idiot. That's Brian for you, with his pure, unfiltered throat. He could easily stretch it into savage romantic analysis if he wanted.
My God. And I said all those awful things to her.
I love MLK, man. He's my guy. I love all black people.
This guy is literally the statistician of heartbreak, the anthropologist of bad dates, and the philosopher of why humans are impossible. But then, don't you think that Brian's savage takes on romance are more about honesty and bravery? Like, this guy calls out nonsense because he values reality over feelings. He's like that one friend who would tell you that your crush is trash while also helping you move on with dignity, all while sipping a martini and quoting Nietzsche. Brian is basically the Griffin family's unofficial think tank. He dives into societal critique like a shark into a pool of rubber ducks, casually dismantling hypocrisy with minimal effort. Yet he saves his sharpest knife for the Griffins. His ability to call out stupidity without being cruel for cruelty's sake is absolutely iconic. Like, remember when Peter once tried reading a message in alphabet cereal? Brian just said,
Peter, those are Cheerios.
no extra commentary, no yelling, just a efficient reality check. Savage, absolutely funny, beyond major. Or when Stewie went on steroid mode, Brian literally assessed him with brutally honest body shaming.
You look gross. You look like Lou Ferrigno's poop.
I look like a guy who's been hitting the gym.
Surgical precision? Check. Brian winning the solo roast battle? Also check. He called Stewie a poop without a single second of hesitation. This guy has the power to analyze every Griffin decision, comment on every absurdity in their family dynamics, and yet live in their house. And Brian's savagery is not just comedy. Remember when May got roasted by a popular girl, Connie, and Brian stepped in with his verbal nuke? He literally owned Connie. I mean, if I was Connie, I would have cried too. He literally told her that she can't look at herself in a mirror because all she sees is a whore.
You're popular because you developed early and started putting out when you were 12, but now you can't stand to look at yourself in the mirror because all you see is a whore.
Harsh? Yes. True? Probably. Necessary? Absolutely. All these dialogues, and yet his most savage moment was when he lived away from the Griffins. Did the Griffins really think he wouldn't survive without them? Well, clearly someone was wrong. Even though he lived in a dingy apartment, he was still navigating adulting with commentary and critique. Grocery shopping, installing light bulbs, surviving city life, he lived through all of it with his savage observations. Dingy apartment? Check. Driving solo? Double check. He basically turned everyday life into a comedy drama philosophy podcast, except it was live, unfiltered, and somehow relatable. Brian in his own space, pure entertainment. He embodied the independent lifestyle, self-sufficient, socially critical, hilarious, and still stylish. From the moment Peter rescued him off the street, Brian ruled the show. From the stray mutt to the ultimate savage, Brian Griffin has been an icon. If you enjoyed this timeline, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Now, let us know in the comments whose story should we cover next. See you in the next video.